It's time to start the meet. Oh, I gotta turn up my. Why is it echoing? There. Oh, it still is echoing. I have it. No, I turned. There. Nope, still. I muted it. Let me see. There. Does that work? I think so. Okay, welcome to the Town of St. Joseph for our Parks, Trails and Recreation Committee Board meeting. Today is June 15th, 2022. And I'd like to call to order, statement of public notice, roll call. Mark, would you like to start with roll call?
Mark, perhaps.
Pat Tuma. And can I possibly get someone to take notes? Mark, can you? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and the call to order. Adoption of the agenda.
I will make a motion for the agenda.
And do I have a second? Gail will second. All in favor? Aye. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dates of upcoming meetings and events. The ARPA Fund Committee meeting is on June 20th, 2022. The Technology Committee meeting is on June 28th, 2022. Public Works is July 5th, 2022. The Planning Commission is July 6th. The BLRD, I'm not sure what the BLRD is. Thank you. That is on July 13th, and the next town board meeting will be July 14th. Approval of prior meeting minutes for May 18th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes. 18.
Okay, Nina has made a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Gail has second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Public comment, monthly status reports, committee meeting dates, Google Drive updates, and IT committee updates. Do we have any information on that at all?
IT committee update,
Yeah,
they're gonna recommend doing, they would recommend the format. And if- They don't have a formal statement. I'll have to get that up. So they were going to recommend the structure that, planning commission uses, planning committee uses.
oh, okay,
So I will.
For the
I'll publish that out, so you know that structure.
okay. The only other thing for the committee meeting updates too is I do believe that the town board okayed September 17th as a date for our prairie celebration.
I thought it was in the usual.
Pardon?
I thought it was in the usual. There was some people must-
Right. So they did approve that,
That's a
so
good thing, right?
yeah.
Otherwise,
September 17th is the date that we're looking at for our celebration for our Prairie Festival. And what the consensus was is that we should set up a meeting, and we can talk about it later, but we'll set up a meeting to get all the committees involved with that. And we have to do that relatively soon. Ball field updates. Do we have any updates on the ball fields? I know last time, Lori DeRozier mentioned that we do have a 3-year contract with the Fast Pitch Group. And I know when I drove by, there's a sign up now. They have a sign up there, which is nice, and the field looks wonderful. So we're up and running with the ball field. Item number 3, 2022 budget review, impact fee update. So if you want to grab your budgets there. And take a minute to look it over, and if you have any questions. So there were checks that were sent out in June. One was sent out to Stan Tech Consulting Services, and that was in reference to the town hall playground. The second check was Waste Management. Let's see, also Stanek Consulting Services. There was a check sent out to them for the outdoor rec plan. And then the last one in June was for Carter Petty, and Carter was the Boy Scout that completed his project at Perch Lake Boat Landing. He actually built steps and a handrail, which will make the Perch Lake boat launch a lot less dangerous. As you walk down, it's very nice, and he did an excellent job, just an excellent job of working there. And we'd like to thank Carter again for doing that. Any questions about the budget? Okay. So we do need to approve the prior meeting minutes for May 18th. They weren't done at the last meeting. Is there someone that could? I think you did last. Oh, we already did that? Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, excuse me. Okay, business. Item number 1, discuss volunteer opportunities and set up volunteer dates as needed for the Town Hall Park Preserve and Thalen Cemetery and Highway 35. At this time, does anyone have anything that we want to list?
As volunteers.
Yes, for volunteer.
I went with Lori and looked at the cemetery, and yes, we could use a day to pick up some branches and pull some weeds out there. I think there was a tree fallen down to clean up there, and also that will go probably when we discuss the cemetery, but I went with Lori to look at the stone. We picked out the stone, that Rivard stone, and then we created a logo. And they printed out what you saw here, several versions of the stone. And we picked out stone numbers, letter C, which is the 3rd one. Initially, we thought maybe green would be nice, but I think where it is a peaceful place. It would maybe stick out too much, and with time, maybe it gets passed out of thing. Brown will be forever, the rest of it will fit within it. And the stone you see on the picture is the stone we picked out. So we put the logo, Steve put the logo on the stone we picked. It's a little bit larger, what we said. He gave us a quote for $1,200, I believe. Okay, in front of me. Otherwise I can. And we can ask Tuma if he can install it. I'm not sure if Lori talked to Tuma that he could do it for $300, the installation. So put some gravel underneath and place it.
Okay, thank you.
you know, this is the one you chose?
Letter C, which is the third one.
I'm not sure if cemetery looks like it's been pulled down, like it's been shrunk vertically. Does it look like that? Kid?
The letter, here on the stone,
Yeah, where it says cemetery.
yeah.
Does it look like that or?
Well, that's what he sent us as a sample. He has the first one with the same font, a little bit larger, and then he has the lettering cemetery the same size as the top. If
But the two
you-
E's look different sizes, is that what you're saying? It looks like one
Yeah,
of
it is a little bit smaller size.
Yeah, I think that a smaller font would be okay, but it looks like it was, non. It wasn't shrunk from the corner so that the aspect ratio is consistent. It looks like it was pulled down. So it's, you know what I mean?
No,
So what she's saying is that that he just pulled it down instead of like pulling a picture in from the corner so that the sizes are all still in proportion?
oh, are you meaning that the?
Is
letter
that what you
starts-
meant?
The C
Okay.
starts right underneath the T? Is that you want the cemetery a little bit moved over to the right a little bit?
No, it's not about that. It, I think the font looks a little smaller. Cemetery's font looks. just a
Yeah,
little
the
bit bigger.
cemetery
Like
font-
the top was 12 and cemetery was 11. Yeah, I think they maybe just need to correct the aspect ratio. So that it's,
Oh, you mean the whole logo moved a little bit more down?
it's just cemetery.
It seems like it's just pulled a little. Doesn't it seem like it's pulled out a little?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which it may be just the picture and not necessarily.
That's true. It could
Yeah.
be that.
Yeah.
Where you think you should go?
Because if you compare the two E's, compare the top E and the bottom E, the bottom E looks a little smaller than the top. When you write cemetery. And you're in a program. Where, if you go like that, you'll just get cemetery like that, right? It'll just get smaller.
Yeah,
But there's another square here, and if you pull that one down, then you're gonna get this. See what I mean? It's like stretched.
oh, okay.
So if there's time,
I think it is due to the font, it makes it like that, and it's a little bit smaller font.
it looks a touch smaller, you know?
Yeah.
But it looks like.
But I think.
If you had
it'd be
two, like
nice
you're saying, two
that
squares,
it
one.
is a little bit more bold, so it's in the same boldness, but he tried to make this already a little bit more bold, I can ask him to make it more bold, so.
Yeah, and just ask them to look at whether it's been stretched or not.
Okay. I can do that, but we have to. prove
Oh,
it
okay, I'll
already,
take that,
so
sorry.
I can just go before he does it, say,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Are there any other volunteer ideas? We do have some volunteers that are anxious to get going and do some things. I know if we contacted Tom and Mike, that they would probably go over and work at the cemetery. We'd just have to maybe meet them over there.
Yeah.
And do you think that's something that you could maybe give them a call and just show them what you
If
need
I
done
get the
over there?
phone numbers there, I get over there.
Okay.
Do we have a publicly available list of dates, or is it all just one-on-one contact?
We've been just kind of gathering. but, They did you go out to, the reserve when did they do the trails out at the reserve?
Yes, Kyle went and did a trail, he did, I don't know if they did everything,
Okay,
he had to come back, and Janet was there, so he did almost everything. So there was one line through straight, then he did the field down there, then from the field down there, just the loop along going all the way to the lake. And then I think he went up, I don't know how far he went up, because I had to go back, so I met Janet and walked with her, and then we went back to the car. So I don't know exactly how much he was done, if everything or not.
So we had a little project last week, but it was kind of iffy because of the weather and the rain and whatever. And I think they finally, it was dry enough that they got out to cut it because it had been kind of wet. So that's kind of what we've been doing, is just kind of when we get a chance. Mike and Tom have been to several of our meetings, and they're both retired and anxious to do projects. They were the ones that were instrumental in helping us with the buckthorn removal up on the hill here. And they're anxious to do things. They want to get out there and do things. So
What are the two names, Mike and?
Mike and Tom, and I do have their numbers in
Yeah, give me the-
somewhere in here, so we
I've
would,
got the names of some people too. They're just waiting,
right.
so it'd be nice maybe if, we'll post it on the town site, some website or Facebook.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to just get some ideas kind of together so that we can like post it and just get some dates that we can do some work. That would be kind of the biggest thing. I know one of the things that they could help with, because I know they could work like on Fridays and stuff. Which was helping, because a lot of people were heading out of town and things, so.
There's some work to be done at the preserve, and I mentioned it last year, this year again. When Kyle went with his lawnmower over there, there's an area on the west side in the woods there, which very slanted, and there's some stones there. He was hitting every time his blades there, and I hate that he does the work for us and mowing and everything, but he has to go there. It has to be scraped a little bit so he can go over with the lawnmower. Now it is so tippy, and there's roots and stone. So I think with a bobcat, if somebody has a bobcat scraping it down a little bit, it's not very much, but that will help a lot.
I'm wondering if we could just bring that to Public Works and see if, or just to
I don't know if
Teresa and see if we could.
Toma has it, but he probably will charge us. But I wonder if there's,
I wonder if there's any money in the, like, Public Works budget at all to. I don't know how much we have,
This,
if they bring the Bobcat out there and stuff,
they have,
right?
so maybe we should address it that way, that Public Works
Yeah,
can.
I can bring that up to Janet and
It's,
then she can,
It's not a big.
Talk to
distance.
Teresa?
It's like going from here to the playground, and then it's
Okay,
done.
okay.
So, and it's like a 4 foot, it's just to flatten it out a little bit so you can go with the lawnmower. Otherwise, every time, he broke his light last time. He hits the blaze every single time.
Okay,
So I feel bad for a person who's doing voluntary work for us.
sure.
If we pay him something, that he loses his equipment.
Well, and doesn't the town have something now?
Will not fit there, that's, has to be
Oh,
narrow. But the tractor, he has a small tractor goes through, and a bobcat would go through there too.
I have a small project, I don't know if we do it or not, but there's a stake next to the tree on the hillside. We need that, can you pull that out?
Oh, yeah, that can be pulled out. What happens in the spring, we put it in to measure the length of the
Oh,
thing.
the
And we
big
put,
metal one?
well, it's a T-post, a thick
Okay.
T-post. And we couldn't get it out anymore. So we said, oh, when it thaws up, we'll take it out.
So where exactly is it?
It's under one of those two trees at the bottom of the hill.
Okay, well,
I was gonna remind you too, that when you speak, you can hit the microphone so that people can hear what you're saying.
so I will check out later, walk over, is that, or if it's from when they put some fencing around when they did the playground. I don't know.
I think different ones of us will volunteer to head up projects. But then we should have a list of the volunteers like Gail had brought up.
Yeah,
Well, I know Janet has been keeping a list of the volunteers, because I've been giving, like, as we get them. So if you do have names and stuff, if you can give the names, and basically it's names and emails and their phone numbers. Because then what we would do is send out messages. Anyone who does volunteer has to fill out a volunteer form, so that they're covered you know, as far as liability or
And
insurance.
somebody has to be with them when they're working.
And one of us from the committee have to be with them when they are there, so it has to have, one of us supervising, so.
So I think if we can just get the list, who would like to accumulate that list and see if all the board members have, with the park board members have. And that way we just assign a park board member to the project.
Right.
See.
Yeah, I can talk with Janet and we can, because I know that she's got the names and she probably already has them on an Excel list or something, so. But, yes, so that we can put them on there and. Any other projects that you can think of that we need to address and get on that list?
Oh, like, Janet, she did it, but it's good. There's a tree falling down on the trail. It's not far away from the parking lot in the winter time. That could be cut up in pieces and taken out from the trail.
Oh,
because
the
when he has
preserve?
he was mowing around
Okay.
the tree. And it's right by the parking lot where you park the car. You look down from the nose of the car, it's right down there along the trail. It's a medium size tree.
Tree.
I didn't see it on film, but you can see it from Congress.
Okay,
So that could be done by a volunteer.
yeah, I could ask maybe Tim to help you and you could go out and do it too. Well, no.
Yeah.
Mike has a chainsaw. So there you go. Should we put your name on that one?
We're gonna need volunteers for the August or September 17th too.
Yes. Okay. Yes, anyone that would like to volunteer for that, we will get them on the list for the September 17th Preserve Festival,
And also every time we
Prairie
walk
Festival.
on the trails by the preserve, there pop up some stones while we're walking and over there, some of the stones throwing away. So when they're mowing, they don't catch into the, that's every year the same thing. We have it at home too. They grow like mushrooms. Stones. on the
Yes.
trail. So I think that's all.
Okay, so I will get with Janet and then we can list the volunteers that we need for the September 17th Prairie Festival. We can also list the ones that we've mentioned here today and get those on the list. We'll also add on people's contact information, their cell phone numbers and their email addresses. And then I've got, Mark, you're gonna talk to the guys and see if we can do something with the tree at the preserve. And Nina, you're gonna be working, you'll be the head person on the cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I also mentioned to Janet about the Bobcat so that we can see if we can get some help with that to get that trail taken care of out there. All right. I can talk to Kyle. Kyle was, I think, was Kyle the one that did it last year? No, the township did it. I think what we need to do though, even before we do that, is we need to get in there and get some of those small trees out of there. If we don't get those little sapling trees out of there, because they couldn't cut anything around those.
How do you tractor pull them out?
How big are those? I've never been there.
Well, they're
I know more or less what it is.
all like an inch to 4 inches. The last time I was there, but I haven't been there this year. They're bigger than that. Oh, yeah, your full, yeah.
It was pulling stuff on.
Well, we could try to,
Rain.
yeah, we could try to pull out whatever we can. And then anything we can't, we can just try to cut off at ground level, you know, so you can mow over it. Okay, we'll add the Highway 35 mowing. Okay, I'll put my name on that one and give you a call and, yep, all right. Sounds good. Okay, number 2, Committee to update and add to the ARPA fund draft and rank in order of importance. Janet Lindstrom to present at the next ARP meeting on June 20th. See attached draft 3. So let's see what we have for drafts here.
That's what you said, right?
Pardon?
Okay.
I don't have that. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Gail sent it in an email.
Did he
So
put-
it's ranking the rain garden, the restrooms, and the kiosks.
Put ranking them in order.
That we would those for the funds for.
Okay, so ranking. Rain garden, kiosks, and
Bathrooms, restrooms.
Lots.
Yeah, it's 433, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to remember if that was all for us or not. It might not be.
so opening discussion on this. Does anyone have any thoughts on?
I would like to see a priority of the bathrooms
Agreed.
Agreed.
with flush toilets, waters, hand washing. I thank you, Gail, for the bullet points. That was in the flush toilets, sinks for hand washing, easy to clean, residents will use while using the playgrounds and trails. Are renting the outdoor space. And she's got an estimate of their, you found out about 60,000. I think that's very important. I mean, this is our town. And it's a public
We
area.
have a lot of complaints over here from the bathroom. Hard to keep-
That would be, I did not read the attachment here. To be with the running water.
What they're gonna do is take that bathroom down and
Build a new one.
Yep.
They'll have a dump station now.
Well, that was easy to get number 1. Okay, now we
Can
got,
they, can they use still same septic tank there or not? I suppose so.
They might not.
No? What is the reason for
They
that?
said both the well and the holding tank might be other expenses to consider.
So they will get an individual well there?
They might need to. They weren't sure if they could access the current one or
15,000.
So is that included in the 60,000, the cost?
not.
It wasn't.
No.
Oh,
I mean, it. Sheet.
Is the intent to keep it open year round?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Because that would be better if they don't try and keep it open year.
oh, it says the new well would cost 22 to 25,000.
So yeah, you
So
can guess 100 for the whole.
the
project.
building is 60,000 and the new well is 22.
And a new holding tank, so 10,000.
Yeah.
So it is 80, it's almost $100,000.
Well, I think definitely, I would think you'd want the new holding tank. The well, I don't know. You're gonna
Yeah,
cost
so
you money
you-
if you grab the
you-
well water from here and or you drill your own well. Either way, it's gonna cost money, right?
well, it'll have to be checked to see if we needed it.
Well, where are you gonna get the water from? If you don't have a new well,
They ran a pipe underneath. the
They just
parking
run a
lot.
pipe in the
but
well.
that costs money too.
I thought they were supposed to do that
They did
when.
Yeah, they did. They put the line out.
Oh, they did. So there's
Yeah.
water.
So I don't
it's
know if
already
they're having
piped
a
already.
problem with it.
It's probably too small.
Too small for
Too small?
a toilet.
They just were gonna run a fountain out there.
No. I think they calculated for more.
Is that okay?
I think that they run 3 big pipes so they can run through there. Well, because that will save us like $22,000 or $25,000.
Well, he says it might be possible to tap into the existing foundation well for the water for the new. I do not have enough information at this time to know for sure one way or the other.
Does anyone think that changes the priority?
Huh?
Good question. Does anyone think that that changes the priority, or is it still the priority?
No,
to have
I
the
would say that's
bathroom?
the priority.
Okay, so we have number one, we have the priority of the bathroom. So now number two.
It's the rain garden.
Either it's the rain garden or the signage, the kiosk.
The kiosk, I would go with the rain garden.
I would
because
too.
that has to be addressed. It flows over and it runs into the playground, the new playground.
Well, it's a safety issue.
And we have spent a lot of money and it will rot there if the water keeps running into the mouths from the children.
Okay,
So we have spent a lot of money. We're going to spend more money on the slide. It has to be addressed. There was a design initially when Gail and I worked on that. We had the idea that we would have a slide up there. So we had like a dry riverbed going all the way until the water runs up, which is plenty of room there. But when we got the plan from Stantec, they put the concrete sidewalk over and that's it. So during the discussion with Stantec, and Sarah was there, and the new guy from Stantec, which is in Minneapolis, Jacobson Bergman, he's the one in charge of dealing with the slide here. And I mentioned that has to be addressed. And Sarah said, well, there was a swale, it was designed a swale. The swale is not there, and the proof is the water comes in there. And Lori happens to be when it was raining and it was overflowing and they could not finish working in the playground due to the overflow. So if we get a huge rainfall again, it will flow over. Like today, I checked it, it was dry. But it was, I had pictures when it was, and she has pictures to when it was overflowing. So that has to be addressed this year.
okay.
And I think the rain garden, and we do that, we can do the hill and hopefully we do the slide, the hill equipment, all that. Then we can do at the same time the rain garden, and it's a done project.
So do we have enough funds that if we don't get the funding for that we can still do it?
What, the rain garden?
Yeah.
I'm hoping, looking at the numbers here, if we don't need a new well, the rain garden, the quote I got was $9,000. Maybe you put extra more stones and grading a little bit more. So let's put it $10,000. The rain garden is done with plants and stones and everything. I think we can do it and we should do it.
I don't know that you answered your question though. Do we have funds from someplace else to do that rain garden if it's
I-
$9,000?
I don't know about the monies. No.
Okay. Does anyone think that the signage is a higher priority than the rain garden? Does everybody agree that it's number two as far as, because we're just supposed to prioritize, right?
Correct.
I would
I agree with, I think it's
do
number
the
two.
rain garden because it's necessary to finish that up.
Okay.
And the sign slowly, one by one, can be done.
Where are we at with the slide?
Do we need,
All of that.
Yeah,
We
we'll
have
get
to
to
make
that.
some decisions tonight.
Oh, is
yeah,
that on the
we'll do
list?
it. Yeah, we'll get on there. Okay, so.
So are we
do
set
we
on
need to
priority?
make any kind of a motion or anything, or we just
Nope.
need to?
I'd like
Okay.
to, if we can, I think if everybody's read what other committees have suggested, I think it might be nice for us to throw our 2 cents in about what we think is a priority
Overall,
overall.
I have not. Where's that at?
Did anybody read them? I didn't read the other committees.
I just read yours.
I'd really like to see the generator happen. I think that that's an important thing to have.
The
Mhm.
generator,
A backup generator.
Backup generator for this building and for especially the fire station.
Yeah,
is that something,
We
I
don't
think
have one
that's-
right now.
I think that's more important than the restroom.
but that's not from the park committee.
No, but just saying, if we could have
Okay.
put in our 2 cents, I would say that's more important than the restrooms. But I do think from everything that was on that list, restrooms ranked second to me.
There's a lot on the list. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just know about the generator because I'm on that committee. But yeah, we don't have one. There's no backup. There's a risk for the fire department and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where is that list overall?
It's in our file.
Is it? I didn't look.
It's in tonight's meeting file, I believe. June 15th. See, it must have been somewhere else.
Okay, so at this point, basically, we have identified the bathrooms as our first priority, the rain garden as our second priority, and the kiosk is our third priority.
Yep.
Okay, everyone in agreement? Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me. Number 3, review and discussion of the TOSJ park properties, the Town of St. Joe Park properties, site inspections and action plan updates. We'll start with the Town Hall Park and Preserve area. We've already talked a little bit about it, but Nina, would you like to update us on Nina? Gail, Lori's not here, but could you update us on
Yes.
where we are with this?
Yeah. So Lori and Janet, and I and Stanton got involved, as most of you know, to help us out with the hill, because the hill to put in the slide needs to be done some excavation, because the slides cannot be just put on top of the hill as it is. It needs a specific angle and not slope, but like we are used to for grading and so on. It has to be a specific angle. So Stantec has hired another person, not Sarah, who is here in Minneapolis, and they are more familiar with slide installation and so on. And they're calculating and doing the construction documents to install a slide. We have given them 3 options to go with the slide. One is a stainless steel, one is stainless steel with plastic sides, and the other one is plastic. Then also the equipment, what we started thinking initially was 4 elements, climbing equipment, elements on the side of the slide, which would be some, what do you call it? Net and a ramp with some rocks to climb. And those would be 4 elements which make 10 feet long. They're 4 feet long by 10 feet, 4 feet wide by 10 feet long. So one on top of the other makes the 20 feet distance what the slide has. So 4 of those would fit nicely. We looked at the cost, and so between 8 feet wide climbing equipment or 6 feet wide, the cost would reduce us $10,000 for us. So we thought maybe we'll go with 2 elements, 6 by 10 and 6 by 10, and then later we can always add some more, which reduces that cost, because the important part is the slide. The slide is the most critical for everybody. It has to be really fun. So discussing those 3 options, the stainless steel, which is from Gorick, then another company, Cascade from Seattle, makes them, and we have seen them, we have showed them to you, and then a plastic one. Initially, we thought stainless steel is longevity and strong and maintenance, it's fine. But the problem is, and the engineer from Stantec said it, during the situation, we get the west sun, it gets so hot in the summertime. So kids will not like to slide on that. So he recommended a plastic. Also, the cost for stainless steel and plastic is a difference in, I should get now my numbers here straight.
So this is the person from Stantex who's installed slides at other locations.
Install, what do you mean?
He's the person who's allocated, but is he getting information from other places or wear and tear on slide, you know, are we worried? So why is he saying this about the sun? Is he just saying because it's plastic, the sun's gonna be not good?
No, because everybody knows that and experience from people who has done playground installation, depending where the stainless steel are getting hotter than the plastic. That's how it is, the material.
It's, when you go onto a slides, a playground site,
Mhm,
and you look at slides, a lot of them will even have a pop-up
mhm.
saying
Stainless steel gets hot.
that stainless steel gets hot. Yep.
Okay,
So they recommend,
warning, so you don't sue them.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they recommend trees and careful locating of them. I
Okay.
did look at some playground sites that had playgrounds in every direction. I'm not sure, if it was, there wasn't a lot of trees on the sites,
Mhm.
but, maybe there was some slope involved that created shade.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they have to at least warn us.
Okay.
Concern.
So between Janet and Jacob from Stantec and Camille, who has provided us with equipment for here, she provides also the stainless steel and the plastic one. The company from Seattle, which I personally liked a lot because it was stainless steel on the bottom and plastic on the side. You can have a wide one and then a narrow one, but you have the same problem with the stainless steel where you slide on. So that doesn't change. So we have the option, stainless steel or plastic.
So did they mention anything about any problems with like fires, kids starting fires on the slide or anything? The stainless steel, of course, it'll get black, but it won't burn where the plastic
Well,
may burn.
I did not think about that. Have you heard any comments?
I've read about it on some of the websites that the plastic is more vandalism. They said that if things are painted, sometimes they have a vandalism coating on them.
Hmm.
But I don't think specifically any of these have
These are
mentioned
correct.
it.
Yeah, and I think you have to consider where we are. If you're in the city, which there's a lot of people, but we are such a small community. Do we
Right.
get a lot of vandalism? Yeah, maybe some bumblebees, they pulled out too much, but.
Yeah, but
you
it's
know,
growing. The whole idea is the town's growing, so you're gonna have more peoples.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
we actually, in New Brighton, where I worked, we had a big hillside slide, and it was an older slide, so it was metal, and it would get very hot on hot days, very hot. The problem is with putting the trees and stuff near it, is then you get the leaves and stuff that fall on it, so that causes another issue besides. So, I mean, if you look around the cities and stuff, a lot of them are just going to the plastic slides, A lot of them are the curly plastic slides and stuff, but they are going with that just because there's, yeah.
Does it help to face it south or not? If it's still too
South or
hot?
southwest, it's the same.
I don't, south is hot, but west, by the time the western sun, it's probably a little farther away. It's probably like half a dozen of one, right? Half a dozen of another. The good thing is that it may dry off quicker, because that's another thing. If you get out in the morning and there's dew on it and stuff, there's not a lot you can do. You don't slide, if it gets a lot of dew on it.
Well,
so-
when I talk with Camille and ask about the maintenance and so on, they say the plastic, they can be repaired, so it's not a problem fixing them if there's some damage done, it scratches or whatever they done. So they're easy repairable.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
So then the costs are, the stainless steel is $33,000. This includes shipping. And the plastic one is $24,000, also included shipping. So then there's another issue. And the delivering time, and we're running in the same problem like last year. The delivering time manufacturing, because they manufacture especially for here, for our hill here, is 6 to 8 weeks. So by the time we are now deciding what we want, it goes maybe to the town board, and if the bid comes out in August, and then it takes like 8 weeks to get the slide, we're in this exact same position like last year with our equipment, they had to store it because it was too late to install it.
But if
So,
we don't, then the price might go up.
and that also. So, with Janet and Lori, and I talked with Gail too about that, there's an alternative to that. That last time, when we had the whole equipment, everything went to bid. And then the person who received the bid was purchasing the equipment. It was in the bid. So this time, maybe what we can do is the town purchase the equipment. We can order it now, as soon as we decide it, and it will be stored like last time, and then the rest can go to bid. It can be prepared and built and everything, so when they're ready in September or middle of September or beginning of September, it's ready to be installed. So when I'm talking to Lori, she said that would be a good idea. With Janet, she agreed on that too. I updated Gail to that, and I think it was new for her. But then I talked to Teresa, because we had a meeting, Lori was not going to be here, and so on. So I talked to Teresa. Can the town purchase the equipment, so the slide and the climbing equipment separately? That does not need to go to bid because it's a fixed cost from the company. As soon as there's labor included, then it has to go to bid. And she said, yeah, it could. I have to talk to Lee, but they have done it before. So if we can now decide tonight, if we go to stainless steel or plastic, it can go in July to the town board, they can approve it, and then they can order it. And then the rest of the bid and the construction documents and what is needed can be done in all that time. They have plenty of time to do that. So that is my exposure for what I would like that we can do tonight. So we don't come in the same problem as last year.
Yeah, Janet said that she wants us to decide tonight what the slide is going to be. And then when we motion July 21st at the Stantec meeting, we'll motion for a separate equipment purchase and install bidding process.
So she doesn't want the motion tonight, she just wants us to
Right.
decide.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
She doesn't want the motion tonight, but she just wants us to decide plastic or metal or whatever.
I think, I understood that she wants a motion, and Lori, she said she wanted a motion.
Well, maybe we make it a motion if that's what we need to do.
Okay,
I don't know, I didn't,
well,
So,
would
someone
someone
make
like to make a motion? All right,
Okay. I have more information.
You can make a motion, then we talk.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, okay.
okay, shall I make a motion then? Or who can make a motion better?
Anybody.
What did you say?
I'd say go for
Go for it, okay. So I will make
it.
a
It's
motion.
probably not too professional, but. go for it.
Okay, I will make a motion that the equipment we have decided here during our meeting, which will consist on the plastic slide and the climbing equipment, which are 6 feet wide by 10 feet long, both of those elements be approved by the town board for purchase by the town. Is there anything else I should add to that?
And do we know what those elements are, the 6 by 10 that you
Yeah.
wanna?
Yeah, those are the net primers. They have names. Let's see. I'm terrible. with names.
Is it in yours? I can take it off.
I've got a
Okay, it is the,
document that it's 6 by 10
It's the
rope
net
net and
net
a 6 by
climber.
10.
and the Tata Bridge,
Net climber, and what was the second one?
Tata Bridge,
Totter?
yeah. 6 by 10 and 6 by 10 each. Why, I made a mistake here.
Okay. And Totter, T-O-T-T-E-R?
Totter.
Okay, Totter Bridge.
I'll second that.
Okay, we've had it made and second the motion. Open for discussion.
Yep, when we discuss prices, we aren't discussing the same slides. The plastic slides are 2 single chutes. And the Goric and the Cascade are a single and a wide. So comparatively, they are not, they can't be compared side by side. Plastic is not available in wide. That is something we put forward previously, that we wanted the wide. And it is, in my opinion, critical to the plan. Because I did some research here, and the average teenager is adult size, and the average adult size is over the 18-inch bedway width.
Oh, of the regular slide.
Yep.
Standard slide.
Yep. So if you add larger kids, inclusive situations, parents with kids, they aren't going to fit on the small plastic slide.
Do you have the size of what you're saying, what they need? Because I have the drawings from the
So-
plastic
So
slide.
why was slide only in the stainless steel?
It's only available in stainless steel. The Cascade, however, isn't solid stainless steel. Only the bedway is stainless steel. The sides are powder coated. So that's reduced heat retention.
So can you say that again, the one that's wider, is it got the powder thing, so it's reduced heat, or is it that one only in stainless steel?
The powder coated is the Cascade version of stainless steel.
Okay,
So if we can't find a plastic wide slide, I would recommend that the only options we look at are Goric or Cascade. Because we're cutting out a huge population of users. And the idea was that this is an all-family playground.
and it's on the ground, it's not like it's in the air, right? So you could connect a lot more. I just think of as you get more accessible, kids that need their parents to go down with them would need the wider slide.
Right, and this is the majority of users here, they drive here, there's an adult here. The idea is that adults can play with their kids. It just seems like a critical factor. And when the hillside was planned, we planned for that hillside to fit all ages, not just kids. And if we just wanted a children's slide, I don't think we need a 20-foot, $70,000 slide.
Have you looked at the sizes from Cascade, the plastic, how wide they are?
I don't know how wide the wide one is. I didn't.
No, not the wide one, the standard one, because if you mentioned the wording that the standard size is it, but if the single slide is wide enough for an adult to go through, would that be acceptable? You have two, I'm looking at if we cannot find the right thing at that moment. Would it be acceptable to have two identical slides, but wide enough that an adult Patty can slide down? Would that be acceptable? Because
I would
can-
recommend that our wide side be as wide as they recommend a wheelchair. Or a large, I mean, there's like standards, and I think that that for a larger user, they recommend between 19.5 and 20.5
inches wide.
at least. And when you're talking obese, they get like 26-inch. So I think what the playground equipment companies are calling wide, whatever that is, it's gonna meet an average adult. But I think for the sake of parents with their kids and that sort of thing, we should just go with a wide slide and not even look at just a single. Because it isn't gonna be 26.
What's the standard size? right now?
Standard is 18. So that's calculating a 16-inch person with 2 inches.
So that doesn't cover adults at all.
No.
Well, it says here 2
We got
feet,
bigger butts. Yep.
2 feet wide. And
Uh,
let me see.
With kids nowadays, they say they're bigger than they.
Yeah.
Marks, but not to be looked at on slide. How, you know, that's correct.
Right.
Do you know what the width is on the, is it the Cascade? Is the plastic slide? You know,
Cascade has the stainless steel and has some plastic white too.
I looked through the images and none of them said how wide the smaller slide is.
I have here 2 images from Cascade. One is plastic. And if you look at that, that one, and if I open the other one, the place is, this is more than 18 inches wide, that's for sure. This is like 2 feet wide.
it doesn't have like the dimensions.
No, it doesn't have the dimension, but I was looking at, had some construction documents where it would say the dimension. It says here that other one, but it is the 2 feet 4 inches.
Another question, are we looking at a straight slide? Is it gonna be straight?
I think we've been discussing a single wave.
Yeah, that's what with Camille also, she mentioned, if you include like a wave, you can have a wave or you can have a curve. If you have a wave, the kids, when they come down, they have a little bump, it makes them much more
Yeah.
interesting to come down.
So my only opinion on a curve is that it's easier for kids to stop in the middle of a curve. The wave, they kind of go up and over it and they go, but if there's a curve, they can actually pin themselves in there, and so then you have kids that stop there and then the next kid down rams into them. Just saying.
So Gorick has the 3 feet 7 inches, the wide one. And then. And this one is. It doesn't say here. Maybe here. Well, we can ask. I think we have to, if you want to postpone it, that's,
I trust that both Cascade and Gorick have an adequate width slide.
yeah. Do you want to pay $10,000 more for that? That is the thing. Or we go with the stainless steel, which is the middle one, which has the wide and narrow, which is almost the same. We don't have the updated cost, but will be more or less the same cost as the elephant plate from plastic.
I guess costs don't seem to matter when it comes to plastic if they don't have one that fits the users.
Well, you guys have to decide whatever you want to do. What do you think?
I think the white piece is important. I didn't think about that before, but now I just
The what?
realized that we need one that's bigger than the standard size, for sure. If that's not an option in plastic, then we have to Because the people will, we make it available, that adults go down with their child, and they're not gonna fit on a regular slide.
Or only certain adults. will
Or
fit.
certain people of adults, yes, but
I can ask Camille, give me exactly the width of the single slide, so we know we have a basis to start from.
I did send her an email. I haven't heard back from her.
You send it now or
No,
yesterday?
I sent it this afternoon.
Okay.
But 18-inch is standard, and when I look at the pictures, they look pretty consistent.
The one from Cascade looked wider than 18 inches. 18 inches is that which is like a stone for a paving stone.
So the money we're talking about is basically, if we go with stainless steel, we can get what we want, 10,000 cheaper. What's the total cost of this?
Okay, I did some numbers here and I should have printed them out for you. But I passed them around here. And I will give you this one, which is not exactly.
It's generally 24 or 35 is the difference between Cascade and Gort. For a single and a wide side by
That is the
side slide.
Cascade 24 and this one's 24.
We're talking 9,000.
So
11.
plastic is,
Oh, 11,
is cheaper, right?
So there's an $11,000 difference between whether we go with all steel or steel with powder coated edges.
Oh, the powder coated edges, that doesn't make the difference for the temperature. They look nice. I like them how they look like. That's the one here. No, that's the one what we were looking before.
Well, if you're really interested in passing a motion tonight, why can't that motion hold with further check on if a plastic one is wide enough to cover what we want?
So I have a question. Can we have a metal and a plastic next to each other? I mean, then if it's a hot day and they're like, oh, that's hot, they could opt to go with the
I would not do
plastic.
that because the cost, the installation of steel, metal or plastic is going to be different and I wouldn't do that. Absolutely not, because you're getting, one of the shape is getting a little bit higher than the stainless steel is maybe a little bit lower. How to get it, how do you, I would not mess with that.
so there's 20-foot long slide. We're looking at, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw like, I was just looking at this picture and it as a picture of the two different slides coming from. They're not right next to each other, you know, there's a little space in between, but
they will be touching to each other. The plastic one will be touching to each other. The stainless steel is one with the barrier in the middle.
Pat, do you, okay, assuming we consider that option, do you have any issue with the seams in the slide? Because I thought previously you said that wasn't,
Are you talking to me?
no, Pat desired, because we did
Well, you don't
discuss
wanna have
plastic
any-
last
you
year.
don't want to have it, or you want to have as least amount of seams as possible.
Right, right, and the ones that are being discussed have several seams.
The plastic ones you're talking about, yes.
They aren't single molded slides.
I think it's less of a concern with the plastic as it is with the metal, having any kind of, you
Sure.
know. But these I'm looking at and they're all seamless metal slides, so.
Can we do that? We can get another meeting before the town board so we can just get only the slides, decision for the slides. So everybody's here, we can see it and we'll make a decision and do that.
I think
We send it now to the board, but we give the information at that time.
I think we can work this out. We just need to decide, is plastic off the table, or are we looking at a combo plastic?
Which is the Cascade, because it's the only one we have combo plastic.
Or are we ditching the idea of a white slide? I mean, that'll get us forward, right? I would vote for wide, for sure.
And stainless steel. So if plastic white exists, we go with plastic, correct? Are you agreeing with that? If we can have a narrow and a wide in plastic, would that work?
Okay, but we've been looking for a couple years and haven't found it, so I
Okay.
feel like at this stage, we
Well,
need to
I
move
send
forward.
it to, I send it to Camille and asked her, she could not call me back and to ask for a white plastic one. So if we get the response, it can, it's to have a decision for us. If it exists and we can have it, which will be in this case elephant play, because we get the answer from Camille, then we go that route. If not, then we go with the stainless steel. Do we go with Boric or we want to go Cascade? Cascade is less expensive.
If you're making a decision tonight, I think you should go with stainless steel. And we still can, check out the option of plastic being wide. I'm sure if we come up to the board in 2 weeks and substitute plastic wide at a cheaper rate, they'll take that.
Yeah, I think.
That's a good
I think
approach.
that's a good
Hey,
idea.
board,
Yeah.
besides that, they're gonna have their opinion about it anyway, so.
Yeah,
We
We'll
know
just have
the
to-
stainless steel wide is available,
yeah, I think that's a good option.
so.
That is a good option.
Yeah.
So, Pat, in your experience with playgrounds, is the powder coating not an issue? It doesn't help the heat issue?
I don't know. It does look nicer. It probably feels a little better on your hands, just because it's got a power coating on it.
Can you explain that power coating, how that is?
Just like on this, the colored powder coating on the
Oh,
side of
it's
the
the side,
slides.
the
Yeah,
sides, but it's not the
It's
surface.
the bright green that's on the playground,
yeah.
right?
It's just a softer feel. It's just a little bit more,
Okay,
hand or friendly or, other than just. I would assume it's probably not as hot as just having a metal slide there. What's the price difference between the two?
11.
11,000.
Between Boric and Cascade. So the powder coating is cheaper. The complication,
It's
yes.
cheaper?
the powder coating is cheaper. The complication is that is not,
It doesn't last. as long.
our current installer does not carry that slide. We would need a different installer.
well, if the town buys it, I think the installer. I don't, well, I can research that, but the town is buying the equipment. We can find somebody to install it. That, I don't think that's a big problem.
What's the warranty on this slide? Anyone know?
It's all online here. What kind of information? I think it's in the old file, though.
It looks nice with the power coating. And it'd be nice if we could get the power coating to match the green that we have out there, so then it would all look, it all seemed like it was working together. Is hail a problem at all with the metal?
I would imagine it would be.
There must
There's
be-
a warranty on here, but it doesn't say much.
Oh, that's what we would have, but more like
Embarkment slide chute.
We're looking at the wave.
that will be with the wave. Yeah. But what I'm thinking, and that's the reason I'm deliberating. The stainless steel from Cascade, we don't have a quote for the wave. And the quote I have from last year was, I just looked, it was $19,000. I raised it up $4,000 more, and that is not included transportation. So if you include transportation, it gets maybe very close to what Goring has, and we have that included there. Only we don't have the nice green color we could have. So I'm thinking if we go up to date exactly side by side, apples with apples in stainless steel, there's not going to be a big difference.
The
And do we-
Cascade does have a wave in it.
Yeah, but we didn't get the quote for the waving.
The 19,780 for a 16-foot. I'm looking at that one.
On December 20,
It's an old one. I think it was the first one I ever got, but it,
white, yeah, it's wave, white slide wave chute, stainless steel.
I don't
with
know what
center
the-
rail for
Yeah.
16 feet drop in elevation, standard color, cast pack 7 powder coated chute rails, and accessible entrance platform. So that's $20,000.
so, I mean, it's been a long time since we talked to Cascade.
Yeah,
Prices have changed, shipping has changed. I'm not even sure on the length and the, you know, what they were quoting and where all the numbers came from.
Well, that
So
was-
if they were equal,
yeah.
which one would we go with? Would, you know, is price a factor? Is installer a factor?
Well, we can research the cost and really get the numbers correct, because,
Right.
and that will not take long.
And we'll do that by June 21st, but tonight we have to decide on which slide we want,
No, not for July 20, June.
or June
21st.
21st.
It's for July 14, for the town board meeting, it's that's when we need it.
Well, Janet said to me that we need to know going into the Stantec meeting, which slide we're gonna go with.
Well, that's next week, we still have a week. We can get the prices and all that. So for us, we can say, let's go and get more information for the 21st. But we're not going to be all on the 21st. Or do we? I would say then let's get another meeting after the 21st, the 22nd, and then make the final decision. So we,
Isn't the meeting on the 21st of October, outside?
Yes.
So you kind of missed a key piece of information.
Exactly. We need to decide on the slide. So I would prefer Cascade, but I would go with Oric if that's what everyone else thinks we should have. I don't know. The only difference, this is the look for the Cascade. It's a little more square and it's got the powder coated edges. Can you make it bigger? That's not bigger.
Okay, so that's one. And that has the wider, they look like they're the same size.
These are the same size,
Okay.
but they have the wide one.
Okay.
Let's see if I can work slide here.
this is the steel from. Come on. It was a wide and a narrow.
And here's
Who's
Oric.
the producer on that?
That is Goring.
Okay.
So it's more of a curved bottom. And it'd be two side by side then? There's
Yeah.
not, okay.
The warranty on Goric is for 10 years, cracks and rotting and. Oh no, that is not for the slide.
I don't see any weight.
Maybe.
Maybe
Oh,
this one here.
This one.
Well, that curve isn't bad, that's not too. curvy.
The other one looked like it had better weight.
Well. You hate to leave anyone.
I mean,
I was just looking at the Minnesota State Fair slides, because I know I've been down those. They are metal. I thought they were actually plastic, but they're metal. They're yellow painted metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Um,
What's the warranty on both? Is it both 10 years?
So I would go and say we go
Sure.
with the stainless steel. We say now for the meeting, we say stainless steel. We investigate the difference and the cost exactly between the two. And for the next meeting, we have the cost from the stainless steel. And we also research the plastic one for the 21st. And we can make then the decision still on time for the July town board meeting, what they have together.
okay, does someone want to put that in a motion?
We need to do motion, Robertson. Do I?
Pardon?
Do you take back the motion? I don't know the terms.
How do you take
Yeah,
back?
take
the
back.
motion?
I think it's the same motion as before.
No, it's not. The first one's a plastic slide with a 6x10 Potter bridge and a net climber, 6x10 net climber.
so you're motioning that we get a Gora?
No, I can choose. one.
Maybe I retract my motion.
Retract it.
and
I'll
then-
second that retract.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to do one or you want me to? Yeah, we do one.
I'm okay with.
You,
whatever
you make the
guys
motion,
decide.
you're better wording, it things that
I mean,
Okay,
I
I'll
think
make
the-
a motion that we ask the town to purchase the slide with the requirement it has to have a wider than standard slide as well as a standard slide.
the double slide, one
so
wide
you're
and
gonna
one
let
narrow.
them choose.
So, and we are to, I just want that as the main requirement.
Right,
I want that as the main requirement. The main requirement is that it's, we've got a wider slide as well as a standard slide, side by side.
Yeah.
And a recommendation at this time is stainless steel.
Yep.
Unless we can find plastic. at cheaper costs.
Yeah, I think that word
Okay.
is perfect.
All right. Do we have a second?
I will make a second.
So so open for discussion, what about those side things we're talking about?
Decide what?
The Totter Bridge and the neck climber.
Yeah,
What about those?
those,
Those are off the table right now?
no,
No, you wanted to include those.
we want to include
We
those.
still want to include those?
Yeah.
Include the 6x10, because they're to climb up it. They're the kind of fun things to climb up the side of the slide.
Can you get those? So the motion is to purchase the stuff. Can you get those as separate and then the slide, or are they free for?
No,
purchase?
I think I would add to the motion that we also include the two climbing equipment, which are the net climber and the Potter Bridge.
if we don't make them separate, then Goric is the only one that fits that. Cascade doesn't have the rope net. They have other climbing equipment, including, I don't think they have a Potter
It
Bridge
doesn't
either.
matter
They have-
because it's a different company either, so.
So we're making
the
a motion
town-
for the town to purchase select the equipment this time, right? Just asking them to purchase the equipment.
Do we have to
Exactly,
put a price on it?
we have to put the price on it. No, we'll give them the price when we have all the information. And they don't want, they have told us they don't want prices.
Okay.
That's what they did with the equipment last time. We said, well, we need the prices. No, don't worry about the prices.
So
Okay,
can I just clarify, we are not choosing materials at all, we're only choosing that we have climbing equipment and that we have slides to a
Slides.
certain,
Specifications.
okay, because we already did that. We did that in April. Or March, it was earlier this year that we did that.
Apparently, they wanted to see more pictures. That's what they said. They wanted to see more pictures and construction sign and the slope. They wanted to get some more information. So we have to.
Oh, we
give
don't
them-
have to make a motion then.
Yes,
We already made them, we already went to them. to ask
I
them. Okay.
would make another motion because they send it back to us.
Then,
but then,
they want to probably want a specific recommendation.
You want to make it more specific? You want to go with the stainless steel? From, we can say the brand from Gorick, which is 20 feet long. And it's double wide, one single slide, and the other one is extra
What's
wide.
your number? You have like a purchase number?
Purchasing number? No, I don't have purchasing number. No, we don't need that. So that is the Gorick stainless steel, double slide, one single, and the other one is extra wide. 20 feet long. And in addition, we want some climbing equipment, Totter Bridge,
Is it a toddler or a
Totter,
Totter.
Totter Bridge.
Cotter Bridge and the net climber.
And the net climber, which are 6 by 10. And the other one also is 6 by 10 wide. And I can give you the company.
Yeah.
Brand name. Oh, Nina. Where's the climate? I cannot go with pressure.
They send out the minutes recap draft and then you guys look at it to see if I have it right. But whatever you send me.
It's by Play Ventures Inc.
Play
Play
Ventures
Ventures Inc.
Inc. Okay. Any more input?
And for your information, did you get to see the slides from Gorick with the wave in there, the double wide, so you see how big that is? Okay, I go over there.
Oh, that's big. It's.
That's the one from Gorick.
That's what I don't know.
That's the wave. That mark is the other one. What is mine? So that is from Cascade. You see the Cascade, and that's the blue there. But this is the same side and that is white. So where is it? That is from. Gorick,
That's for it.
Gorick.
The Adventure Inc. is for the two climbing, the
Yeah,
net
this is
climber
climbing
and the
equipment.
Totter Bridge.
Oh, that's-
Mary, can you read back the motion?
Yeah, I don't have it. So we recommend that the board purchase equipment with a 20-foot long slide with a wide section and a standard section, and also include purchasing the net bridge, net climber, and tower bridge.
Yeah, can you include with a wave in there? The
a
stainless
wave.
steel with a wave.
And the climbing structures are each 6 foot by 10 foot.
The add-ons.
Do we need to mention that one slide would be a regular width and one slide would be wider for accessibility?
That's what I said, wide standard. You want me to put for
Okay.
accessibility?
Well, I'm just
I'll
thinking
I'll change it
in
around.
case they have a
Whether
question.
Standard
No.
width and
The accessibility, when we looked at it, they don't have a way to get up, so I would not mention it. In the future, we can do that.
Okay, never mind.
They have to come or from the parking lot, but driving over the grass.
Okay. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
what am I saying?
Nina. Gail first and then Nina. Okay, anything else with the town hall park?
Yes, we discussed also when we looked at the presentation from Jacob. He showed us to have this PIP underneath the put in place surface, which is will not have erosion and so on. And I mentioned him to that this looks very nice and it's in the city and he had great suggestions and so on. But I said, you know, we wanted to have it put in place for the toddlers where we have the butterfly now, and we could not afford it. So put in place to put it there on the slide, which is like on this picture, right? You have the wide and the narrow one. That is the put in place. That's so expensive for us. And Camille had suggested, and it has been working, is this grass mats, which is a thick rubber mat with some holes in the middle, which the grass grows through, and you can mow it over, or you can go with a trimmer. And in the quote, Jacob had included that too. So when I went through the numbers, what Stantec was doing, I should have sent all this information to you before, but he was including a lot of things like, for example, the put in place, and the cost was going up and up and up. So I did the numbers first for the equipment, and the equipment, if we go with the Gorex stainless steel, only the equipment, and we put grass mats, what Camille recommended, which instead of $25,000 to put in place or more, it cost us like $5,000. And the grass mats, he said, Jacob said, well, but I've not worked with that, and then the mowing and blah, 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 blah. So I looked today and I asked Camille, I said, it works. It has been used in many places. And I tried to find somewhere where they use it, and it is for a school, and you have two pictures, before installation and after installation. And I'm going to send it around to you, and then you'll get it back so you can have a look at it. So the first one is, you see here, they have put the mats underneath the equipment, and then the grass comes through and you can mow it over. And with Lori, she said, well, then it gets tall. Well, we can always seed this low mow grass with these soft sedges, which doesn't grow tall. And it is not so big that you cannot go with a trimmer underneath, and it holds the soil.
Okay, and she said that it has been used with a slide that long.
On hills, yeah, and she sent some pictures from other places.
Okay.
So that website, if you want to go and look at it, it's called grassmatsusa.com.
Yeah,
And they have a little YouTube movie where they show a lot of things, but that works on the hill.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would go with grass mats because mulch will rain down. Or we have to put concrete. Concrete is very hard on it. So I think I would go with that. And the cost, it's not so exorbitant. So if we have some problems, you can always address it later in a few years.
So
So-
they just put down the square stuff and they grow grass in it.
Yeah, the
Cool.
grass, yeah,
Very
you see it and then it comes through. And they have done it in football fields and where it's used a lot, so.
Okay.
I'm confident it will work. So the equipment total with installation will cost us going with the stainless steel slide will cost us $61,000 or $62,000. Then there's additional cost, which Stantec puts us in, is a clay container curb, and I'm guessing it's going to be concrete like we have here for the playground. Then they have some surfacing. So blah, 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 blah. I don't go in all the details, but they had concrete stairs to go up there with even a handrail, which came the whole thing, just the stair, $6,600. So I mentioned to Jacob and say, we don't need really concrete stairs to go up there. We have built wooden stairs and it works out and it's more natural in this area than concrete. So removing that, still Stantec with the labor and excavation is like $30,000 or $31,000. So total will be $92,000 with the stainless steel slide. And I think our budget was 70,000. So we're $20,000 over.
Time to have a bake sale.
Okay.
Time to have a bake sale. Just kidding. Let's see.
Well, and it
Okay,
wasn't clear if we needed Stantec in that $70,000.
In the 70, no, Stantec gave us a quote to do all this work for them was $15,000.
Right, but is our budget 70,000 or is it 85?
I
know,
remember,
doesn't it-
maybe I'm wrong, but I remember saying that it was 70,000.
Right, but do we, is Stantec going to be paid out of that budget?
Oh, or is it on top of that?
Right.
I don't know.
Because then that's going to change what we can do.
Any bright ideas, Mark? No. Yeah, I'm sorry, look at it.
something that we'd have to discuss with Janet and,
It's pretty crazy how the cost.
yeah, it's kind of like everything else right now. It keeps
Right.
going on and up and up and up.
So that needs to be clarified and, I guess that's why I wasn't clear on what we're supposed to be motioning forward, because if we're motioning forward what we're buying is 70,000, we didn't do that, so.
No, what we're, our motion is only for the equipment, which is 33 plus $45,000. Something like this.
Roughly.
Equipment is $50,000.
What was the budget for the slide, the school slide area?
What did you say?
What was the original budget for that?
What was the original
Original
budget for
price.
this slide?
The original budget, well, we have
Last year, when we put the whole big part together, we said, here's about how much it would be, right?
Yeah,
And then we sent it to, it was that okay, it was just by.
we sent it to Stantec and we said we had this budget for $70,000. And they came with a budget because, thank goodness, during the meeting, we didn't get any information. If it was not because I took a screenshot from the cost, I would not know how much it would cost. They have option one, $114,000. Option two. For the hillside, yeah. Option two is $140,000 and option three is $134,000. That's the reason I went to the numbers and say, wait a minute. We are asking them to do something for us for $70,000 and they come up with 114. So there it is, that they put PIP in there, they put in place and so on. So I reduced that, did the numbers and did, okay, I am eliminating this and eliminating that. I'm going to send it right now to you. I don't know if I should have sent it or not, because I don't know if it is that it was right that I took a screenshot, because I cannot memorize all those numbers. So I took a screenshot so I could sit down at home and read it.
I don't think you should send it to us though.
No,
without
not
going
from
through.
Stantec, but what I did, I can send,
Oh, okay, yeah.
right? That's not.
Well, does it have to go through Janet in the office to get it sent to us?
I don't know. It was in the old times, if I sent just some information, I don't have any opinion, it's fine, but I can do it when Janet comes back, send it to Janet, I can share it.
I think if you send it to Janet, then she can,
I think she has it already.
then she can share it, whatever. Okay,
I will
well,
send it to Janet and she will share it to you. That is possible.
in the essence of time here. We made the motion. We voted on the motion. I think what we're gonna have to do is check as far as, we're gonna check on the different slides to see if you can get a plastic one, or whatever. At this point, I think we have to move forward just because everything is going up and it's not gonna go down waiting. It's just, everything is going up. So let's move forward on it. And like I said, we can always go back to the drawing board or have another additional meeting.
That's what I think, that maybe we need another meeting.
Okay,
We have a meeting on the 21st.
we do.
We can have a half an hour meeting before that,
We could.
right?
Pat,
Or
I
an
have
hour.
one more thing to add to the town hall park discussion.
Sure.
There on the June 29th at 2 p.m., there is a free webinar on playground inspections. And I can't attend, but if anybody else wants to, I can send them the link.
Yeah, well, June 29th. What day of the week is that?
That I don't know.
That's Wednesday, I think.
Okay. Okay, and it's at what time?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
Yep.
Yeah, why don't you send me the link?
And where is that?
It's a webinar.
Webinar. 2 p.m.?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving right along, Nature Preserve. What do we need to chit chat? I know at the Nature Preserve, Kyle Lindstrom did some mowing. And you said that Nina, that the paths were
Almost done.
almost done.
Yeah.
And we did talk earlier about the fact that we probably need to bring a bobcat in and do some smoothing out so that when someone does mow there, that they're not hitting their blades, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up about the preserve at this time? Okay, Perch Lake launch area and parking lot. Again, we wanted to thank Carter for his project that he did as far as building steps and a railing. I actually have walked down it and tried it, and it is wonderful. When I was actually there with Carter, a couple of young women were there, and they were so excited about it, and another guy stopped with the truck and thanked him for doing this. I know a lot of my friends that we still kayak and stuff, but we're like, balance wise, it's always interesting going down steep inclines in your 60s. So we're really excited, the fact that we could actually grab a kayak together and hold onto the rail and walk down and get it in the water without rolling down the hill.
And
Real
they're really,
nice
they're
job.
really nice too.
Yeah, they are really nice. They're very, they're very aesthetic, you know, look very nice. So again, thanks to Carter. He put a lot of work in it. The last time I just happened to drive by and he was there. It was like prom night and he was there working.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. But it was just really interesting seeing how many people stopped while he was working there and asked what was going on. And they were, it was all very positive. So that was very nice. I have gone by a few times just because I tend to drive by when I go out to visit my mom in Somerset. I drive back that way, and I haven't seen any disruption so far this year. I haven't seen any garbage in the parking lot. The bathrooms are used. And one day, you know, I saw a group of guys that they were working in the area and it was handy for them to stop there. So there hasn't been a whole lot of swimming out there. There has been quite a few kayakers, fishermen, and up until like last year, a couple days ago, when we got our almost 100-degree day or 95-degree day. There hasn't been a lot of swimming because I think the water's probably just a little chilly, but
it's warmer, we're going to look more people there.
but I think with that, and then with our 2 days coming up next week that are supposed to be so hot, I think we are definitely in perch lake season, so.
I
Any-
know here from last month, the minutes from last month, we discussed potential for housing for the restrooms. I think it was because you had some housing, shelter like this for the restrooms.
Oh, to protect it.
I have some pictures from Afton. They did a really nice job.
So we want to talk about that now, or want to table that for next meeting?
Let's table them to the next time.
Yeah,
I will send them the pictures so we have it ready before we talk about it.
that would be great.
That makes it better.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Okay, perch, let's see, perch, we got the Thalen Cemetery. We've already kind of talked about that, but just kind of want to recap what's.
Yeah, I will contact Tuma. I will go to Riva Stone and make the comment about the lettering, if they can check that one out the way we want it. And then if Tuma comes, scheduling the time and bring it in. And they received from Rory the message that we should send the bill to the town. So we're all set to go.
Wonderful, and it looks really nice.
I think it will look nice.
looks really
Much better
nice.
than what we have now.
Yeah, I think it looks very, very nice. Highway 35, we've already kind of touched on that too. Oh, go ahead.
What I think would be nice is that we put in the stone before we have the volunteers cleaning up there.
Oh,
Because
okay,
if there's some little things to be done, then at least once they're there, it will look nice and tidy, and then we can send a picture to the Thielen family that they will appreciate, I suppose.
okay. Sounds good.
That's all.
All right, thank you, Nina.
The family usually shows up in August. When we've gotten tired during the year to keep it up.
Well, they
And
come
then they
whenever they
complain.
can.
They usually come in August.
Yeah, they
So
come
let's
every
get
year.
this done before August. All right. That sounds great. The Highway 35 rest area, again, we mentioned that it needs to be mowed and kept up this year again. One of the things that we have a lot of smaller trees that are growing on it, and Mark has said that he would contact our volunteers. Mike and Tom have been active with us if they would like to go help and maybe pull some of those trees and then possibly cut the ones down to the ground, the ones that are unable to be pulled out. Also, I'm just letting you know that there are some blackberry bushes there that were looking really nice last year. And the ones in my yard are good. I bet you if in the next few weeks, if you went there, you could pick some blackberries. Because they do have a bunch of them there. Okay, item number 4, National Prairie Day. Is set for September 17th. At this point, I talked to Janet, and one of the things that we wanted to do was set up a meeting so that we could get some of the other Town of St. Joe committees together as far as planning for this. Some of the areas that we are, well, just to kind of go over what we were looking at. I talked to the church and they're working with their person that does special events and stuff as far as involvement, and I will get back to them and let them know that they didn't have anything on their calendar right now, but I'll let them know what the date is. Things that we were thinking of including in this are different booths, possibly from the state, the county parks and bikes and trails, so that they could give out their information, a possible historic slideshow. We'd like to include a food truck or 2. We're talking about contacting the 4-H and seeing if we could get some animals as far as a small petting zoo. Possibly maybe even the 4-Hers could work with some children's games. We would need to get someone to run a little playground designation ceremony, and then also maybe that person could also work with getting people to do like a nature trail, guided nature trail tours. One of the suggestions that came up was a treasure hunt along the trail. Another suggestion was an art exhibit. We talked about doing something athletic in the field. We talked about having the fire department do something, a touch a truck or some kind of fire demonstration, being able to go on the trucks for the little ones, that type of thing. We also talked about possibly getting people in, since it's September, having people come in and have some goods for sale, jams, jellies, produce from the summer, that type of thing. So we have a lot of possibilities, and I'm gonna meet with Janet and we can set up a date and try to get people together. I would also like any of you that have a certain area that you are interested in working in for September 17th to come and talk to me after the meeting, and we'll get you kind of set in that area and get you going. I think if we divide it up in each of the little areas, then it won't be so much for all of us to take on. And I think we could have a real fun time with this. Also, again, if we have areas that we don't have, or once we get the areas down, we can get that information out to people and see if we can get volunteers to help out, or you can help recruit your own volunteers as well. Questions? We got a lot that we could possibly have going on here.
I was asked to do something, I can't remember what I was asked to do.
Well, is there anything anybody specifically wants to do? It is a long list.
I can say that I can do things before that.
Okay,
Unfortunately, my schedule is really bad. Had planned to arrive here the 18th of
Okay.
September. I will try to make it the 16th, but it's not depending on me.
okay.
So anything before that,
It's the
preparing
17th,
or so
right?
on, I can do that. But that day, probably, I would not say don't come 100%. If I made it, I'm here, I will help whatever is available.
Gail, are you interested in working on the playground dedication and something with the nature trails? Someone to do like a little guided tour on the nature trails and then the presentation for the playground?
We'll do what I can.
What I could add is the slide is maybe not installed, So in case it's not installed, and there's a presentation of it, we can have maybe a court with a drawing, what we're planning to do, and some pictures, what's going to be up there. So people say that's going to happen, if not this year, then next year.
I mean, they'll see what's there and it'll be just a dedication
Expansion of the
of it.
hill.
And this is also coming kind of thing.
So are we gonna do like a table or what, and are people setting things up in booths or is it inside or?
It's all gonna be
It's all
outside.
over.
Just because of COVID, it's all gonna be outside if possible.
envisioning that process that we're gonna have like vendors kind of thing? So they'll have little pop-up canopies and then they'll have tables, is that what you're envisioning?
So the vendors, as far as like, if you're talking produce and stuff like that, in the past, what they've had them kind of off to the side here and they
On the
just had
grass
tables
roof.
up and they basically say, hey, I want a table. We put up a table for them and they
Yeah.
sell their goods.
So no electric, no fees, no. Do you need permits for that?
They would have to sign up with us. I don't think we need a permit or anything. They would have to sign up with us so we know as far as like how many tables we need, that kind of thing.
We're gonna do tables?
Oh, we have.
We have
tables.
tables.
Okay.
And I think it's just easier if we have, like, usually there was like 3 or 4 people, 3, 4. We had someone that did jams and stuff. There was another person that did produce, you know, zucchinis, apples, whatever was available. You know, we could set the number of tables that we want and say, okay, the first 5 people that come or, you know, whatever.
Isn't there permit requirements for selling food? Or not?
It was not before.
I don't think so, not for just the produce. And then,
Well, I think farmers markets don't need a permit, but anything prepared does. Like if it's not considered a cottage industry. So like I'm wondering about food trucks, unless they,
But with food truck, they have to have their permit if they come, right?
yeah,
But
but
people
they
who
have
make
their
their honey
permits.
here-
Don't the food trips, are they permitted ahead of time to have a food truck?
I think so. If they
They
sell
have
from
to
a,
have-
from a truck,
I
they
mean, they
must
get
have the
permitted
They
permit.
must
by the
have like a
county, don't they?
county, yeah,
I
county
think so.
permit. So one of the suggestions was to see if big guys would come, you know, because they're, you know, local or whatever.
I think if it's a nice day, I would love to see an ice cream place here. A
Oh, you had
vendor with
mentioned
ice
that.
cream. Yeah. All kids like ice cream and grown-ups too.
They do.
So are food trucks gonna need electric and water?
They possibly could, and if we do something like that, we'd have to position them so that we could run probably a cord from the building, that kind of thing.
Some of them have their own little generators for whatever they're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
When you go to the Stillwater, the art festival, they have also things, so they have their own generators.
What I would like to do and what my thought is, just, I want to keep as much of it over there on the south side as possible. I don't want kids.
Where do I have people park?
Well, they could park in their regular parking lot, but that's one reason we want everything as far over as we can, so that the kids aren't coming across the parking lot to get something, to do something. We want them all over there so that we don't have those kind of situations. I mean, I think
So-
with the playground, you know, the kids are gonna gravitate there anyway. The kids are gonna gravitate there. We can decide what we wanna do, if we wanna just leave the picnic tables open for seating for people. And then have everybody else, you know, we've got the whole field, we could do things around the tables around the edge of the field. And then we could also then do the animals out there before they had the animals out there. They had
Could I
like,
make a recommendation?
oh, yes.
Sorry, I'm stepping in for Lori and apparently she called me, but I didn't get the voicemail, so I'm a little late. But would it make the most sense to maybe just sketch this out so that everyone can kind of have a visual of who, what, where, when?
Yeah, I actually have it sketched out and I'm holding the sketch in my hand. It's just that without Lori here, we're not running on all cylinders. But I do have a sketch and I can get that to Lori.
Okay. I would just think then you have a good idea, right? And for ice cream, I don't know that we have anyone, maybe I don't know if the creamery has anything, but I know Nelson's Ice Cream in Stillwater has a trailer system.
Oh, okay.
And they're usually very amenable to coming out to those sort of events. I don't know if they'd still be open this late in the season. September's a little late for them, but otherwise, Big Guys has a food truck, and in Hudson, I think it's called PETA. They have a big one, PITA. They have a big food truck they do. Otherwise, if you're willing to go a little bit outside of that, I've seen the Hickory Hog is another one. And all of those vendors have their own power and water management system within their vehicles. So the township
Okay.
would be required to facilitate anything in those cases.
So I have Big Guys, Nelson's, PETA, and Hickory Hog.
Yeah, those are all so the first three are fairly local. I'm not sure about the Hickory Hog, but I do know that all of them have done events close to our area. And they
There's a
all,
gentleman that works, does a burrito truck or something at Menards too.
Yep. So those are all things we could kind of put like a posting out for, something out on Facebook, anything like that. Anyone interested, you could try an outreach. But I would say just create kind of a drawing, create a list, and have some measurements as to like how many can we facilitate? How big of each area would we be looking for? My guess is if you do more than you'd probably do about the maximum of about 3 food vehicles. So, and then you'd probably do 2 tables each vehicle. So you'd be looking at using 6 tables because none of them carry their own.
Okay.
So that's usually how I've seen it done in the past.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you for that input.
Mm-hmm.
I
Um,
think what you mentioned to have the tables, the picnic tables around, that's great because it disperses people, but we have to also think if it starts raining. And if we have things that we want to show, maybe we can use the shelter with tables for stuff we want to show, whatever. Usually we had them here inside, but because if it's inside, people will come in or not. But if it's underneath the picnic area, at least you're safe from the rain.
That's a good idea. The other thing too is, I mean, the reason we didn't want to bring them inside was just with COVID and everything. We just want to try to keep it out and spread out. Just to make sure, what's gonna happen here is all the kids are gonna go back to school in September. And it's always a little bit of a spike at that time. And so it's probably a good idea to just give everybody a little space. The good thing is September is a month that usually is,
It's
There's-
not as rainy. as
it's not
now.
as rainy as some of the other ones, so. Any other suggestions? Or anybody who wants to sign up, but you can just talk to me after the meeting also. All right. Let's see, moving right along here, grant opportunity discussions. Discuss who would be willing to find and apply for grants. What grant options do we have? An example of options, local, state, and federal. Do we have any input at this time? What we could do is just move that on to next month and see if we can talk about it at that time. Okay, committee or subcommittee recommendations. Item for the next Park Trails and Recreation Committee agenda. Discuss town policy for volunteers picking up garbage on town roads. Is there a policy? Mark, do you know if there has ever been a policy for volunteers picking up trash?
Yeah, I've never heard of one.
I think hasn't it always been a county?
There were some voluntary people like Friends of Bolton or something on Valley View
Valley
Trail.
View.
And they were in the spring, twice during the year, they were picking up the garbage.
Yeah.
Maybe what might be helpful is if we connect with the Public Works Group and ask if they have any process. I know some roads within the township actually have like donation teams that agree to sign up to do it every couple months. So it might be something where we could ask Public Works what their policy is and how they have it scheduled. They would also have the safety procedures involved in that. So that would be a email over to Chris.
Okay. I was
Oh.
trying to look online to see if St. Croix County has a,
Well, they would they would have a process for the county roads.
because I know like on our street, we have a sign that we have a designated group that has taken our road.
Yep, like
But I-
the brand.
It's a town road, but it does have a sign on it that there's, but I'm not sure if they do it through the. Don't know.
Because the sign got put up by somebody that's kind of sponsoring
Yeah.
them being,
But all of that would have gone through Public Works, so.
okay, so it's, maybe it's a public works topic and not our topic, but we could find out.
Yeah, we'll, I'll talk with Janet and we'll contact Chris and see what they have to say so that we're not, so we're all working on the same page. That would be a good idea.
So these are items for the, we can put on the next agenda, because they're not on this agenda.
Correct.
Okay, I'll add them
Is
to the next
review
agenda.
parks management plan a separate idea from the garbage? Or is it the garbage needs to go into the parks management plan?
It says the town resident, okay, so somebody must have contacted her, is what I'm thinking. Town resident brought up possibility of having equipment needed at town hall for residents while picking up garbage on town roads. Review park management plan. We have a park management plan versus,
We do, but it's, I mean, it's really rough.
yeah, okay. So this is items for next committee meeting.
So maybe that needs to get put into the management plan.
Well, I think there's two action items. One is we should review the park if this is gonna go on the next agenda. So we can review park management plan and see if there's anything that the park committee should be providing. The second thing, it would be Janet or Pat, somebody from this should contact I forgot that other committee,
Public Works,
the Public Works Committee, to see if they already own this.
exactly.
Okay, so those are the two
Okay.
action items, and these will get, or three, because I'll add this to the next agenda.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
Okay, our next meeting is on July 20th, 2022 at 6 PM. We do have, what was the other meeting that we have though too? We have,
We have the Stantec Zoom meeting. It is the final presentation.
okay, so the Stantec Zoom meeting
at the 21st, but are we gonna try and meet half an hour earlier?
is June 21st. I will mention that to Janet. and
It's
so
at
that she can
9
make a
a.m.
decision
in the
and send it
morning.
out. If she wants to meet a half hour earlier, or
Okay,
I don't wanna make that decision without her input on it. Okay. And
You
that
have-
Zoom meeting was in the morning, wasn't it?
It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 AM. So the Stantec Zoom meeting is June 21st at 9 AM. Okay, anything else before we wrap up here? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I will second that.
We've had a motion to adjourn and to second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much and thanks.
Good job, Pat.
Thank you all for all your input.
For presiding.
We're supposed to get a better, bigger cabinet for the microphone. It's not starting.
Can keep this one. And
And
this is the one we select.
Did you set all these up?
These, no, they're just stay. They just stay.
Or no, they don't, but
These
somebody
don't
else.
stay?
We can lock them in that cabinet.
Oh.
So somebody has set them all.
Who set them up?
What?